Well. I'm wondering if part of the reason little Miss Gypsy Rose Blanchard has disappeared from the TikTok along with her baby daddy Ken is because perhaps they knew all these new prison calls were going to be released by the FOIA records. Well, I listened to this one and it was disgusting. I've listened to quite a few of them so far, and I'll be talking about most of them, but I want to talk about this one first. This is disgusting. And this is from August 18th, 2016. This is a call between Gypsy and Kristy, and she talks briefly with Rod on the phone. Gypsy is on the phone, and she's super excited. About 6 million people had seen this article that was on this website BuzzFeed. So even this early into her prison stay, she was looking for that fame already. And you could just hear her light up when she's talking about all these people seeing this article. She just couldn't believe it. And she had just made it at this point to Vandalia. She's going through receiving at this point. And she's upset about the mugshot. She just can't take a good mugshot to save her life. They're not supposed to look good. I've never had a good one either. You should have seen my prison pictures. Oof. You think I look bad now? Oof. You should have seen me in them pictures. Anyway, she talks about her hair was greasy because she was trying to put grease in her hair so she wouldn't get lice and all of this. So then she starts talking about she accidentally dropped her ID in the toilet and flushed it. So therefore, she had to get a new picture taken. She didn't accidentally drop that ID in no toilet and flush it. Come on now. I don't know how they were there, but we had them. It was a clip that clipped on. They had a strip on your uniform shirt, and you clipped it on there. So, and it wasn't going to just fall off. So then she talks to Kristy about how much better she likes this picture. She has her makeup on, and she hopes it shows up on the website. She hopes this new mugshot is showing up on the website. So she is so concerned, even then, concerned about how she looks. I didn't give a darn how I looked in prison. Who cares? I wasn't trying to impress any of them girls in there. But apparently, Gypsy, because she was so famous, I guess. Anyways, then she says she had paid some money to get some pictures taken in there, which is something they do. And she tells Kristy about the cute poses she was making, taking these pictures, and she has to wait some weeks to get them back, and then she'll, mail her one. Now, the whole time she's talking to Rod on the phone about basically nothing. You can tell Rod doesn't even want to be talking to her. You can just hear it in his tone of voice. He's over it. Rod never wanted nothing to do with Gypsy anyways. Had it not been for Gypsy's mother, DeeDee, continually getting on Rod's ass, reminding him of Gypsy's birthdays coming up, holidays coming up, asking him did he want to see her, did he want to talk to her, he wouldn't have had no part in his life, believe me. She actually asks Kristy to text Dan Glidewell. So after she's been in jail for over a year, she still remembers Dan Glidewell's number because he's still not answering her. And Kristy asks her, is this the older man? She says, well, not really. He's Dad's age, about 42. And then Kristy asks her, is he an SO? Because she heard she was an SO. And Gypsy, oh, God, no. But Gypsy knew the whole time that, yes, he was. So she even lies to her. She lies to everybody. And even after Kristy texted Dan Glidewell telling him that Gypsy was trying to reach him, he still was not answering the phone for Gypsy. He wanted nothing to do with her either. Then her and Kristy get to talking about DeeDee. Kristy has the audacity to say she doesn't think DeeDee deserves to be in heaven. Well, I hate to tell Kristy it's not her call. The big man upstairs is the one that makes that call. And Gypsy says, now this is ridiculous. This is disgusting what Gypsy says. Gypsy says, and I quote, she did me wrong, I did her wrong, we're even. That's the way Gypsy looks at it. She did me wrong, I did her wrong, we're even, unquote. That's how Gypsy sees it. She has no remorse. She could say all day long, she asks for forgiveness and this was about getting even. And it wasn't because DeeDee was harming her in any sense. It was because DeeDee didn't want her running around with men double her age. She didn't want Gypsy running the streets like a wild woman. She wasn't harming her at all. It's all in the medical records. Gypsy has a microdeletion, 1q21.1. And that caused everything, every symptom that is wrong, everything that was wrong with Gypsy can be attributed to that microdeletion, which they did not even discover until 2008. And I believe 2012 is, or I believe 2012 is when Gypsy was finally diagnosed with this microdeletion. There was no unnecessary procedures. There was none of that. That was a cooked up strategy by Michael Stanfield. Ridiculous. And Kristy, Kristy then, as they're still talking about DeeDee, all about DeeDee. I don't think DeeDee should even be coming out of Kristy's mouth because Kristy did DeeDee dirty. They were friends. And when Rod and DeeDee broke up, Kristy swooped in. But she was DeeDee's friend and did her like that. And so Kristy, has to glaze Gypsy because Gypsy is their meal ticket now at this point. They talk about Gypsy signing her life rights to them so they can put the money away for her because Gypsy can't profit off the crime. But if she signs her rights over to Rod and Kristy, they sure can. It's disgusting. Kristy and Rod just want Gypsy because she's the meal ticket. Anyways, Kristy, trying to pat Gypsy on the ass, says she doesn't believe Gypsy's going to burn in hell. And Kristy says she believes DeeDee's fought the devil and taken over hell. And then Kristy starts to badmouth DeeDee some more, talking about DeeDee continually tried to break up Kristy and Rod. And she made up lies saying Rod was gay. And then Gypsy chimes in, saying that DeeDee had told Gypsy Rod would have stayed if Gypsy would have been a boy, and supposedly DeeDee had miscarried a boy, and DeeDee had told Gypsy many times she wished she would have been the one to go and the miscarried boy would have survived. And no, I don't believe any of these horrible things were said by DeeDee. DeeDee was a loving mother who took Gypsy to the doctor because she was concerned. She didn't know. They didn't expect Gypsy to even live past the age of 18 because they had no clue what was wrong with her. There was no unnecessary surgery. She had a muscle biopsy done because Gypsy knew she could walk but refused to tell DeeDee because she thought she would love her less. She had sleep studies done. She had 2 salivary glands removed after the Botox stopped working. She had strabismus. Her eyes were completely cockeyed. Without that, she could have went blind, so she had that surgery. And she had a feeding tube because at the age of, 8, she was 30-something pounds. And she has a high palate. DeeDee did not cause any of this. Even during the sleep studies, when DeeDee was not even there, they had noticed the saliva pooling in Gypsy's throat. Even the grandfather had mentioned when Gypsy was a baby how she was hooked up to these things and the alarms would go off because she'd quit breathing. Gypsy was very sickly, and it had to do with the microdeletion. I urge you, look up the FOIA records. You can go over to the YT, go to the Into the Weeds podcast. They have a Google Drive with all of these medical records. You can see the disgusting videos Gypsy Rose sent to Nicholas Godejohn, manipulating him into committing this crime. You can see all of her prison and jail emails. You can hear some of these calls, and you will see just the monster that Gypsy Rose is. She needs to just get off of social media and quit influencing our youth. But anyways, that was the disgusting call. It was basically a let's bash DeeDee, as if it wasn't bad enough what Gypsy had already done. Now she wants to continue to speak ill. And like I said, Kristy has no right saying anything against that woman. So let me know your thoughts on this call.